Well, my friends, we just had the special live stream with Planet Zoo, where Lydia and Tim took us through a lovely little research operation. There we were able to find many different animals from all across the world, it seems, and today we're going to be piecing together what animals we might think these are. Hello everyone, my name is Leaf, and it's so great that you guys are able to join me as we kind of dissect what we think these animals might be. With only 4 animals revealed, and the next pack seemingly might being an animal pack, these aren't the only animals to look forward to, and we'll talk about some of my other predictions later down the line with like a cohesive theme. But for the time being, let's start off where they started off. The first map they were actually spotted in was the temperate map. Here we were revealed to have the kind of like characteristics of this animal being big, burly, and heavy. This animal also ate roots, tree bark, and can also be found grazing on grass. It's relatively fast with a swift impact of footprints, and it also has golden brown fur. Now this is honestly leading the community all the way over to the takin. No specific subspecies in mind, though the golden takin kind of does stand out. I am kind of agreeing with them, because the takin is obviously one of the animals that I love nearly and dearly. It's an animal I predicted for many moons now. It's just a really, really stellar animal out there that I think a lot more people need to learn about. However, this description also matches, to an even better degree, the Wisent. Now, before people start groaning and moaning about like clone animals, hear me out. Wisents are actually pretty damn cool. Being a very, very special population of buffalo out there, think of like the American buffalo. This species is the European buffalo. They were hunted nearly to extinction, except in Poland. There they were actually able to breed them out and make their populations a lot more stable. Hopefully I'll see them next year when I actually end up going there, but we'll see by then. If I'm not able to see them next year, I would love to see them in Planet Zoo. I mean, these guys also have very golden brownish fur. They are very well known for inhabiting woodlands maps. Not maps, I'm thinking of like Hunter Call of the Wild over here, but they're just very characteristic of European wildlife and a very stellar one at that. Plus, it'd be very easy for Frontier to make. We'll talk about why they would kind of lean towards more easier animals to make later, but that's really my guess for this animal. Next on the list, we also went to a frigid landscape. We could see Tim kind of like freezing his ass off right over here. But here we were actually able to be introduced to a lone creature. It is a carnivore that eats carcasses. It's ferocious. It's been seen scaling a cliff with a big bushy tail, coarse hair that also helps in the cold, which, by the way, huge thank you to Kiru, my friend, for providing me like kind of the laydown of the streams. I was too busy being a rabid fan of Lydia and Tim in the chat to really take notes, but here we are being introduced to one of 2 animals. Either it's going to be the Wolverine or the Palace Cat. I'm leaning more so towards Wolverine, though Palace Cat, it kind of sticks out to me because of the big bushy tail. They like to actually sit on their tails to stay warm, and the scaling a cliff. I'm not really sure if Wolverines can scale cliffs, but I don't know. We'll have to see about that. The ferocious part, though, that really does stick out for being a Wolverine more than anything. Look at the Palace Cat. Does that look ferocious to you? I don't think so. So yeah, I feel like the Wolverine might be the next one on here, which hopefully it will be able to climb in-game. If it does actually exist, it would be really awesome, because I always say arboreal animals are probably the best ones to build for, because you're making dynamic habitats for them. If you make like a hoofstock habitat, there really isn't much of a way to make it look interesting. Of course, unless if it's like a takin or something, because then it's a little bit more mountainous. But for like arboreal animals, it's just so much easier because you have all this freedom, not only with the ground, but also like, you know, the tree line as well. I don't know. That'd be really fun. Now, moving on from there, we are moving over to the warm or dry grasslands. This one was a little confusing to me because it felt almost like an African animal. You'll see in a bit, but they have unique facets on them. A bulging nose, a group animal that lives in herds, I assume spindly legs that are fast, and it grazes on different grasses, shrubs, and herbs. Most people are saying Saiga. That makes a lot of sense. I'm just gonna throw the Speaks Gazelle out here, not because I think it's one of these animals that we're gonna get, but mostly just out of respect. I love Speaks Gazelles, right? I've seen them in the past. They have them at the San Diego Zoo. They are so freaking cool. The males have like an inflatable nose that kind of like poofs up, and they make like a little bit of like a whistle noise when they do that. Really cool animals. But I don't think we're going to get them in Planet Zoo. I think it's going to be the Saiga. Now, I unfortunately am not the biggest Saiga fan out there. When I look at Planet Zoo, I'm only looking from a perspective that I want animals that I have seen in zoos before. And the Saiga, they've only been held once in the United States at the San Diego Zoo and Safari Park, but even behind the scenes. So you probably couldn't even be able to see them in the past. But that's really how I feel about them. They're a cool species, don't get me wrong, super critically endangered. Their populations are always in flux because the conservation methods out there in like, Mongolia, out there in like Ukraine, Russia, they have all that stuff going on right now. So Saigas really aren't their number one concern, so they're kind of at risk of extinction because of that. Just a really cool animal though. I don't know, I'm very interested to see if that's actually the case. And then we move over to like a swamp forest, medium temperate area. You can see the picture right over here. But we get possibly the cutest animal of the pack, young carried on the back, adapted at self-defense with long sharp claws. Claws are used as a culinary utensil. Termite mound, like an insectivore. And then at this point, we're all thinking like Tamandua, right? This has got to be the Tamandua because obviously it carries its young on its back. It's an anteater, so they have those really, really impressive claws, kind of like sloths as well. Zanarians, I think they're pronounced. But then we get the black shaggy fur. Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be a sloth bear. I think everyone thinks it's going to be a sloth bear. Sloth bears are absolutely known for having like... They're kind of like the sun bear if it were on steroids. These are probably the most dangerous bears out there. They can absolutely rip a human apart. They could even rip a tiger apart, which is the coolest damn thing in the world. But sloth bears, very interesting species over here. Not everyone is too excited about this, but I personally am. Coming from a modding perspective, this animal is actually something that we're not really able to do completely accurately in Planet Zoo, and I feel like a frontier version of a sloth bear could be the best damn thing we could ever get in the game. I love bears. Bears are, again, another arboreal species. Sloth bears can climb, so the more arboreal animals we get in this game, the better. I just find that amazing. But that's really it for all of these animals, at least the ones that were revealed to us, so we can start to make inferences about what this pack could be. Now, thinking about what the Wolverine, the Saiga, the Sloth Bear, and then the Takin or Wisent have in common with each other, they're all found in Asia. The Wisent, maybe, I gotta look at that. If even we want to stretch it, we could say Eurasia? I don't even know if Planet Zoo would even do a pack like that. That, like, combining other packs, it'd be like getting, like, the Sub-Saharan African pack or something like that, even though we kind of already got the Africa pack, which was already the Sub-Saharan Africa pack. But I digress. Now, what other animals could fit this bill? I really don't know. Again, I'm pretty much gunning for, like, a animal pack that is based around sort of, like, steep to like temperate Asia animals. I'm thinking we might be able to see kind of like a galliform in here, maybe like a golden pheasant. I feel like that would make like a really, really good impact over here, at least one bird. I mean, come on, let's look at the facts over here. None of these animals are exhibit animals. We have to be getting like some unique exhibit animal this time around, because none of these match the description of an exhibit animal. What that exhibit animal could be, I really don't know. But I'm honestly hoping to God it's a bird at this point, because I might just well lose it if it isn't. I mean, for Lord's sake, can we just at least get another habitat bird? I feel like we're just ripe for the picking over here. I don't know. I think that might be kind of cool. But we should probably go back to another point I was making before about why Frontier would want to stick with a kind of easier pack like this that's seemingly full of a little bit of clones. I mean, we got another gazelle, we get another, like, you know, possibly another wildebeest-like animal like the takin. We might get another bison like the bison. I don't know. Let's kind of talk about that. So obviously the vibes were a little bit off in today's stream. Frontier has been experiencing some very deep budget cuts. It's very unfortunate. I'm trying to keep my opinions on this as clean as possible. I really hope that you guys can trust me on this when I say I really want to respect the relationship I have with Frontier, and also try and respect you guys and get you guys the opinion that you guys absolutely deserve. I think Frontier has made some pretty bad decisions in the past. What with the F1 series and some of these other licensed games not really doing the best, it seems like Frontier is honestly kind of trying to claw its way out of some predetermined agreements over here, and because of that, their whole company seems to be taken down with those agreements. I don't think Planet Zoo is really gonna go anywhere, seemingly. This has been going on for a few months at this point, and we're still getting a DLC, so I really hope that this doesn't affect Frontier's future with Planet Zoo, or even other Planet titles to begin with. I really don't think it'll affect it too much, except for the fact that we are getting some very similar animals to what we already have in the game, which I can't really complain about at this point. I'm kind of just like, yep, okay. I really want birds, I really want aquatic animals, but if you guys get me an official takin, or an official Wysant, or an official yada yada yada, I'm fine. Like, it honestly makes me happy that my favorite zoo game of all time is still getting support. That is crazy right there. Zoo Tycoon didn't even get these many animals added after it was released, so we're really in, like, a good point right here. But of course, I know a lot more of you guys out there are a lot more critical than I am when it comes to this whole situation, so let me know in the comments down below. I'm very interested in opening up a dialogue when it comes to all this stuff, because it really is a super interesting situation wherein we are honestly watching this from the sidelines. There's nothing we can do about it except for, you know, support the products we always like to get, you know? But even then, it's still like, you can only buy a product if you really want to get it, you know? Like, it's your own money. You get to choose what you do with it. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to say on, like, the kind of business side of things. Let's talk about the update. Okay, let's actually talk about the update. Super excited for this. We got 2 new little screenshots in here of the gift shop mechanic. It looks like we'll be able to place down these little kind of like prefabs in here. Looks like we get a lot of really awesome ones too. We got like these really cool dynamic setups in here, and it looks like, unfortunately, we won't be able to place the items individually. That's a little bit of a shame. I'm really hoping that we will. It doesn't look like any of these are out of place, quote unquote, though, so really we'll just have to see what happens. Maybe, okay, honestly, looking at the zebra and the elephant on here, how they're kind of placed in between these shelves, maybe we could place them down individually, but again, I'm not really sure. I'm not going to make any promises, but that's just very interesting. I still love, like, the shot of that gift shop from outside. That's just really cool. At least, hopefully, we'll be able to place the balloons separately. That might be kind of funky. But that is honestly a really solid update. Obviously, it's not like, oh no, we can't custom make, like, you know, our gift shops. We can't place down individual plushies for guests to buy. That doesn't even make sense. Like, how could they buy it if it's like an object in the game? You could honestly, okay, if they made a system like that, you could do something like kind of like a nursery, kind of like a farm where you could go and buy like tomatoes. That might be kind of fun. Okay, that might be kind of fun. I might try and make that happen. But regardless, that is really it for today's news, I guess. Hopefully we'll be getting news tomorrow if Frontier is sticking to their schedule on that. Really can't wait to see you guys then. Hopefully this will be the pack that everyone has dreamed of. So far it seems like it might not be. It doesn't really have any words, but we'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching one last time. Can't wait to see you guys then. Have the most wonderful of wonderful days. Stay subscribed to stay up to date with all your Planet Zoo news, and I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye.